Feliz Navidad, Tube Nation! Woo! Or happy holidays. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. I don't know why I'm like introing in Spanish all of a sudden. What's happy holidays in Spanish? Feliz fiestas. Is that even correct?
Felices vacaciones.
One more time?
Felices vacaciones.
Felices vacaciones.
Felices vacaciones.
I like that. Felices vacaciones.
Felices vacaciones.
Felices vacaciones. You get what I'm trying to say. Happy holidays, you guys. How are we feeling about the holidays? Do we feel anxious? Do we feel unnerved? Do we feel excited? Do we have solid and healthy dynamics with our families? Do we not? How are you guys feeling? Check in. I'm just checking in. How are you guys doing? Are you guys going back to your hometown? Do you guys still live in your hometown but you feel disconnected to your hometown? What's going on? Because for me, I have mixed emotions about Christmas this year. Last Christmas, I had COVID, so I had to spend Christmas in my bed coughing up my lungs, trying to breathe. That was literally the most depressing day of my life. The only thing that I could do is just scroll on social media or like watch a movie on my TV, but then I would get bored of the movie, then I would scroll through social media and everyone's just with their families, giggling and gaggling, making precious moments with their loved ones. And I was just rotting in my bed. And then I had to do a family Zoom call on Christmas, and that was just the most unsettling feeling. Just watching my family all together, laughing, eating food. I was like propped up on the dinner table, just sick in bed. I didn't even have an appetite, so I wasn't even eating. I was like pale with my hood on. Just like watching my family eat dinner together. And they were like opening up presents in front of me. I'm like, wow, Dad. That was a great gift. You really know Mom. It was tragic. It was sad. So because I had to experience that last Christmas, I'm feeling good about this Christmas. I'm feeling excited. Before I get into the video, let me just explain what I'm doing. So basically, I am leaving for Oregon tomorrow and I have to pack. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here on my bedroom floor and I'm gonna pack and I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna talk shit. But before we get started, we do have a sponsor, so take it away, Sarah. All right, y'all, today's sponsor is Warby Parker. Warby Parker offers everything that you need for happier eyes. From eyeglasses, sunglasses, contact lenses, or even eye exams. And you can shop with them online or in stores, whatever you prefer. And glasses start at only $95, and that includes prescription lenses. Sunglasses, progressives, and blue light lenses are also available. And you can get 15% off when you purchase 2 or more pairs of prescription eyeglasses or sunglasses. My experience with Warby Parker is always such smooth sailing, okay? All I did was take my little fingers to their website and I took the Warby Parker's quiz and I ordered my own home try-on kit. All I had to do was just fill out a few questions about my face shape, what kind of lenses I wanted, the style that I was going for, and they hooked it up with some exquisite choices for me to choose from. And I just picked 5 of my favorites out of the ones that they suggested. They shipped the home try-on kit for free, and there was no obligation to buy the glasses. And then once I received the 5 pairs of glasses, I got to try them on for 5 days, and it also comes with a prepaid return shipping label, so once I'm done trying them on for 5 days, I just put them back in my little box, slap this little goober on there, and then I just take it to the post office. And it was all free and super easy. So y'all need to go and take the quiz and figure out what glasses are your vibe, okay? And I'm gonna show you some of the ones that I got sent to me. Here is the home try-on kit. And I say this every time, but they come in little individual packaging, but since I've been wearing them, they're obviously not in the packaging. When I do send them back, I put them back in the little packages, and I still have those. So I'm gonna show you my favorites right now. These ones are so cute. I really love how subtle they are. It's like a subtle pink. They're like a peach, like a light peach, but they're transparent. And I think that these are so cute. They're kind of foggy. Wait one sec. I've been wearing these a lot. And they're prescription, so I can see. Hello. These are some of my faves. They match my outfit with the peach tones. All my friends really love these ones on me, and I do too. And then I went for another clear option. These are actually clear. No pigment, no color on these. Look at how darling these are. These go with every single outfit that I own. Doesn't matter what color I'm wearing. I could be wearing a rainbow jumpsuit and these would look fire with them. You know what I'm saying? And the quality is so supreme. They're heavy. They don't feel cheap at all. Like, these are not gonna snap in half on me. If I drop them, they're not gonna break. They're such great quality. But my absolute favorite, oh my god, I'm seriously obsessed with these, especially because it's Christmas time. And when you think of Christmas, you think of like red, right? Because like Santa's suit, you know? Come on. I got these darling. It's like a red wine. I cannot wait to show up at the airport when I come home from Christmas and I'm just wearing my Christmas glasses. I can't wait to walk into my home for Christmas, seeing my family with my cute little Christmas glasses on. Like, these are so festive. I love these. And I showed my mom these too, and my mom thinks that these are the best. I think that they're just so flattering on my face. So y'all seriously need to try Warby Parker's free home try-on program, okay? You order 5 pairs of glasses to try on at home for free for 5 days, and there's no obligation to buy them. You can just strut around with them for 5 days and then send them back. And like I said, they ship for free and include a prepaid return shipping label, so just slap that on, send them back, and you're good. So try 5 pairs of glasses at home for free at warbyparker.com/Basca. That's warbyparker.com/Basca. Thank you so much, Warby Parker, for sponsoring today's video. I'm obsessed with my Christmas glasses, and let's get into it. Don't I look so cute with my Christmas glasses? I'm so excited to wear those. Okay, like I said, I'm just gonna be packing and yakking. Ooh. That could be a segment, packing and yakking. Packing and yabbing. No, I like packing and yakking. But isn't yak like throwing up? We're not throwing up, we're yakking. Yak, 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 yak. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I spend a few minutes talking about my Christmas plans this year, just like my stress and my anxieties about Christmas. But if you really want to get into the juicy tea about the guy that I'm talking to right now, skip to 16:15. But if you want to hear about my other life, keep watching. So here's my thing. I was looking at flights to Oregon last week because I procrastinate, and I was looking at flights and they were so freaking expensive because I wanted to get to Oregon on Friday. The flights were just outrageous. But then the flights on Saturday, which was Christmas Eve, were a lot cheaper, but I wanted to get there on Friday because everybody in my hometown goes out on Friday. That's the night where like I reunite with everyone. So I wanted to get there on Friday because I can't go out on Christmas Eve, even though I've done that multiple times. A few years ago, me and my friends went out to the one and only strip club in my town on Christmas Eve, and that was terrifying. Not terrifying because it was a strip club, just the atmosphere was very strange and sad, just because there wasn't that many people there, but the people that were there were just old men by themselves. They were sitting separately by themselves, and then it was just like my group of friends who are just like, yes! It was just such a weird vibe. We try to like make that a tradition for every Christmas Eve, but after the second time we were like, this is just a sad vibe. Like, we could tell like the strippers didn't want to be there, they wanted to be at home. It was just strange. So not doing that anymore. So we're gonna do that Friday. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I really wanted to get there Friday, but the flights were absolutely crazy. Like, I'm not even kidding, thousands of dollars. Did you hear my voice crack? That's how anxious I am. Thousands of dollars to go home? Like, no. No thanks. I love my home, but like thousands of dollars for a round trip? No. I was thinking to myself and I was like, I'll just drive there. I'll just drive there on Thursday night. I'll stop in Sacramento, which is like halfway. It's like 5 hours. I'll get a hotel, stay the night, and then wake up early, then drive the rest of the 5 hours the next day on Friday. That's fine. So that was my plan. And then my mother, dear precious Barbara, who just loves and cares about me, she just kept blowing up my phone asking me what my travel plans were, and I didn't want to tell her what I was gonna do because I knew she was gonna freak out. she just kept calling me and asking me and calling me and asking me and calling and asking and calling and asking. And then finally I answered the phone and I was like, hey girly, I'm gonna drive, but don't freak out. And she was like, absolutely not. And I was like, okay, here we go. She's like, you are absolutely not driving here. And I was like, why? And she was like, the Siskiyou Pass. It's like this pass, this like mountain that I have to like drive through. She's like, it's gonna be really snowy. You're gonna need chains on your tires. Like, nope, it's just not safe. It's just not safe. Like, you were absolutely not, absolutely not. And I was like, holy shit, okay. Even though I looked up what the weather was gonna be like and it wasn't gonna be that bad, but just Barb, you know what I'm saying? She would literally throw a conniption, have a brain aneurysm. So I was just like, okay, Barb, but I can't get a flight because the flights are like $2,000 because I waited so long. So that's partially my fault. Then she was like, you can come on Saturday. There's cheap flights on Saturday. And I was like, Mom, I don't want to come on Saturday. I want to come on Friday and go out with my friends. Do you not care about my social life in Oregon? This is a life or death situation, Barbara. I need to show face and be out on the streets on Friday. And she was like, I don't care. I don't care. I would rather you be here and alive. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. So I booked my flight for Saturday. I'm probably not even gonna see my friends. Then last night happens. I wake up from a nap. My phone is just overflowing with texts from my friends in Oregon. Just, are you here? Are you here? Are you here? And I was like, no, I'm getting there on Saturday. I said that to everybody and everybody collectively at the same time. What the fuck? No. Friday. Come on Friday. That's when everybody's going out. Are you joking? And I was like, I get that. I totally get that. And I agree with you. My mom is just throwing a conniption and they were like, make it work. Make it work. You're coming on Friday because we're all going out. We all have these plans. Everybody wants to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys. But I was like, no, you're so correct because that's why I wanted to come on Friday. So what I did was I canceled my arriving flight on Saturday and I kept my return flight. I had to like call. It was like a huge process. It was so annoying. It took so long. And then I splurged and I got a one-way for Friday. I did that, so it's all good. So I'm going tomorrow now. So I hope my friends are happy and I hope that I have the best night ever. Because if I don't, it's coming out of your pockets. No, I'm kidding. I'm really excited to see everybody. When I went back for Thanksgiving, that was so much fun. I don't know why, but like every single time I go home, I dread going out, or I used to. And I used to like dread seeing people, and I used to like not hate, but I used to like really get nervous seeing everyone that I grew up with and having small talk with people that I went to high school with. But now I enjoy it. Ever since Thanksgiving when I went out, I really enjoy it. And I think it was because my sister was with me too. And Katie, my best friend who I grew up with, was also with me too. My two sisters were just with me and it was just fun. We went to like the only bar at my town. Every 5 minutes, someone from my high school would walk through the doors and we'd be like, yo, Garrett! And they'd be like, what? Just every 5 minutes. Oh my God, Jake! Wow! And it was fun. And that was like the first time in a really long time where it was like fun. So I'm excited to do that again. I genuinely had a great time during Thanksgiving. I just also feel like I'm in a very mentally stable place in my life. I feel excited. I'll talk to everybody. Hey, Jeremy, we had chemistry together. That was so crazy, right? Oh, you're doing real estate? Tell me about it. How is the market right now? You know, tell me everything. It's so fun. I'm not nervous about the Christmas dynamic with my family because me and my family are so close, and like, sure, we do get in arguments sometimes, we fight, but it's all love. There's no like weird, creepy uncle, thank God. So I don't have to worry about that. There's no like racist aunt that I have to worry about. None of that shit. So I don't really have anything to worry about in that department, which I'm so blessed and lucky and thankful. Just really good vibes, especially this year with my family. Like everyone's just feeling good. But if you guys do have to worry about that, my heart is with you because I know how tough that is. I know how uncomfortable those dinners can be. And if you guys need a support system, just talk to each other in the comments. Like, give each other some tips on how you guys get through the holidays with your families, because my family's really small and we're very close. So there are moments where me and my sister do have to kind of walk away and step away and like breathe outside. But once we like go outside and collect ourselves and like breathe and come back in, it's fine. I know that it can get really intense and very triggering for some people. And if you're not going home for the holidays, and if you aren't in communication with your family, I love you. You have a support system here, and I know how hard the holidays can be. If you've lost a loved one, the holiday season just brings up so many emotions, so many complex and like intense emotions. So I'm here with you. Everyone in the comment section is here with you. We all love you, okay? If your family doesn't, I do. And I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I genuinely love you guys. We got each other, okay? I'll adopt all of you guys into my family. Tube Nation, baby. We're in this together. We got this. We're gonna get through the holidays. We got this. We got this. And then it's gonna be a new year, new us. As cliche as that sounds, it's gonna be a brand new year, all right? Okay, let's talk about boys. I'm like almost done packing. What the fuck? I want to tell you guys about this guy that I met, and I just like don't really know what to do about it, if I'm being honest. I really just have no idea what I want to even do about it. I'm seriously like kind of done packing. I had all my clothes like set to the side, and I thought that was gonna take me way longer. Well, I still have to pack up my makeup, but I'll do that later. I like genuinely did that pretty quickly. That rocks. Okay, I guess I'll just like tell a story. I don't know. So my friend was having a party. Should I just name drop? Whatever. You guys know him, Zayn Hijazi. I've been on Zayn and Heath's podcast before. If you haven't watched that, go watch that because it was fun. That was when I had blonde hair and I was going through my breakup and I was very chaotic and messy. I've grown a lot since that podcast, but I think because I was so chaotic and messy, it did really well. Like, I was all over the place. But so Zayn Hijazi was having a party at this club the other night. I was gonna go with Brittany Broski, because we both got invited to it because she is also friends with them. Me and Brittany, the day before, we were like, let's go together, let's like pregame together, like it's gonna be so much fun, whatever. And then the day of the party arrives and I'm getting ready and I'm like really excited because I haven't gone out in a while. I love Zayn. He's like one of my great friends, and I was really excited to go to his party and like see everybody and see Mariah. I like miss Mariah, even though I didn't see Mariah one time that night because there were so many people. Anyway, so I'm like getting ready for the party, doing my makeup, I'm like listening to music. I'm so excited, right? And I have like a really cute outfit picked out because they said cocktail attire. So I was like, let me pull something out of my ass, but I found a really cute outfit. So it's about like 3 hours before the party starts and Brittany calls me and she was like, hey, I'm just not really feeling it. I'm like not feeling that good. I kind of just want to stay home, watch a Disney movie and chill. Like I don't really feel like getting drunk tonight. I'm so sorry. And I was like, damn. And then when she said that, I was like, should I still go? I'm like almost done doing my makeup and I look really cute. So I was like, I need to go. I really wanted to see Zayn. I haven't seen him in so long. I was like, let me just ask Christelle if she's down to go with me. I asked Christelle if she wants to go and she was violently hungover, but she was like, whatever, I'll come. And I'm like, cool. So me and Christelle pregame and then we get into the Uber. I texted Zayn right before we left asking if Christelle could come too because she wasn't invited because he doesn't know Christelle. So I was just asking if I could like bring a +1. And then he responded and he was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll put her on the list. But he was like texting kind of crazy. I could tell that he was fucked up. He was like misspelling words and shit. If you know Zayn, you know Zayn. I was like, okay. On our way to the Uber, I like had this weird feeling in my stomach that he didn't put her on the list. So I was like, shit. Mind you, me and Christelle are looking fire We look great. Like, are you kidding me? Wait. I'll post it right here. We look so darling. We walk up to the line and there was like a pretty long line. And we were like, oh shit. And people are getting turned away. People are like, no, I'm on the list. And they're like, no, you're not. Like there was like a lot of drama at the front of this line. And we were like, oh shit. There was like a general admission line and then a VIP line. And I think the VIP line were the people that were like on the list. So I just got in that line. It was shorter. So I got in that line. When we get to the front, I was expecting myself to have to like convince the security to let us in if Christelle wasn't on the list for some reason. I was like convinced. I had my ID out. I was like ready. But then I locked eyes with the security guard. Oh! And y'all, this man was so sexy. Oh my god, he was so sexy. And we locked eyes and then he immediately looks at the other security guard and he's like, let them in. And I was like, oh, me and Christelle looked at each other, we're like, oh. They didn't ask what our names were. They didn't ask for anything. Even though they were asking everybody and like yelling at people. They just grabbed the rope and let us in and we were like, okay. We like walk up to the door and the really sexy security guard, I'm gonna call him Cameron. You have to be kidding me. I just named this man Cameron again? I named the last guy Cameron in my last story. Why am I calling everybody Cameron? This is a completely different person from the Cameron in my last story. Why is the only name I can think of Cameron? I don't know one Cameron in my life. Apparently we're also naming this security guard Cameron. Cameron and I look at each other again and I was like, thank you for like letting us in. And he was like, no problem. And then he reaches in and he was like, you know, I gotta like handle some people right now and like let a few people in, but can I find you inside and get your info? And I was like, absolutely, like of course. And he was like, okay, I'll see you inside. And then as he was saying I'll see you inside, because he was distracted talking to me, these bitches, they weren't bitches, but you know what I mean, these people tried to cut in front of me and like walk through the door because he wasn't looking. And then it was so hot. He was like, hey, while me and Christelle are standing there, he was like, hey, what do you think you're doing cutting these girls? Like, you can't do, what are your names? Are you on the list? Like, he was being so like so, you know what I mean? And me and Christelle were like, and he was like, you can't cut these girls. Like, you guys were in the back of the, because they were in the back of the line in the general admission section, but they just saw an opportunity to like slither through. And then Cameron checked them and got really passionate and aggressive. And these were just like some random guys. They weren't even girls. Like, they were just random dudes that like tried to cut us. And he didn't get in their face, but he was like, get in the back, get in the back. Like being like a security guard. It was so hot. I was seriously like creaming my jeans. I was like, and then after he was done like yelling at those guys, he looks back at me and he was like, sorry about that. I'll meet you inside later. I need to like get your info. And I was like, okay. And then he reached out his hand and he was like, what's your name? And I was like, I'm Sarah. He was like, nice to meet you. I'm Cameron. I'll see you in a second. And I was like, ah. And then we walk in and then me and Christelle look at each other and we were like, what the fuck? He was so hot. Like, and watching him get like super aggressive and passionate and yell at these guys that try to cut us, it was so hot. You know what I mean? It was just, it was like he was like protecting us. I don't know. And then we get in, it's like a lot of YouTubers, like people in the social media world, like a lot of TikTokers, a lot of like YouTubers and stuff. So we knew the majority of them. And so we're just like talking to everybody. And then maybe like 30, 45 minutes goes by and me and Christelle, we're like standing on the side, just like talking about something. We're just like sipping our drink, just like talking about something. And then all of a sudden I see Cameron and Cameron is in the club now. I can see Cameron, he's like maneuvering through people and he's like looking around, and I was like, oh shit, there he is. And I was like, okay, be cool. So I'm like talking to Christelle, I'm like, yeah, crazy party. And then in the corner of my eye, I could see Cameron approaching me, and my heart was kind of fluttering. I was like, oh shit. And then he comes up to me and he was like, Sarah. He remembered my name, and I was like, Cameron. He was like, I was looking for you. And I was like, you found me. He was literally like hovering over me, but in a hot way. You know how like when guys like lean against the wall but they're like hovering over you? He was doing that to me, so I was like we were just like talking about some shit. I had this like weird instinct to ask him how old he was, just to be sure, okay? Because this man looked a lot older than me. But the last time that this happened, when I met David at the Tame Impala show at Life is Beautiful, he looked older than me too, but then I asked him how old he was and he was younger than me. So I like have this weird thing where I like need to ask. And so after we were like flirting and shit, I was like, wait, whoa. How old are you, by the way? And he was like, you're not gonna like this. And I was like, what? I was like, oh no. First of all, my heart sank because I was like, do not say like 18 or 19 or 20. I will literally cry. I was like, nope, do not say that. He was like, how old are you? Like, let's start off with that. And I was like, oh God. I was like, I'm 25. How old are you? And he was like, oh shit, you're not gonna like this. I was like, just tell me. And he was like, I'm 22. This man did not look 22. He was not feeling 22. He was feeling 32. He looked 32. I'm like, what is up with all of you sexy ass men that look like you could be 32 just being 22? Like, why is that my luck? Why do I just keep coming across 22-year-olds wherever I look? Why am I a 22-year-old magnet? I can't take it. I can't take this anymore. You guys are playing with me. He was like, but I'm like really mature. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I was like, fuck, another 22-year-old. But David, okay, David, the last guy that I met in Las Vegas, he was 22 when I met him, but he was turning 23. So that was nice. But this man just turned 22. And I was like, you just turned 22? I'm like, dude, 3-year difference. I was like, I don't know. Obviously that's not creepy and that's not illegal and that's not like weird, I guess. But it was just like, oh, fuck. And he's like, am I too young for you? I was like, I mean, kind of, but I'll feel it out. But then as we were talking about that, one of his other security guard homies was like, yo, Cameron, I need your help over here. So I didn't have enough time to like put my information in his phone. So he was like, I'll come back for you. And then you need to put your information in my phone. And I was like, okay, Cameron. And then he walked away. And then me and Christelle look at each other. We're like, he's 22. Fuck. So after he told me that, I'm not trying to discriminate him against his age, but in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, this isn't gonna even be anything. Oh, before he even left, he was like, I'm gonna take you out on a date. And I was like, okay. After he told me he was 22, he was like, no, I'll show you. Like, I'm mature. Like, I'm gonna take your ass out on a date. And I'm like, okay. So then when he walked away, I was like, okay. Like, I don't really know what to think right now. So then he walked away and he was really hot. He was like talking on his earpiece. And I was like, damn, okay, he's still really hot. So whatever. I go about my night. I'm talking to people. And you guys, also sorry if I'm talking really quiet. I just got over being sick. I don't have COVID, but I had a cold and I lost my voice. So my throat still kind of hurts. That's why I'm talking so quiet. So as you guys know, I'm in Bachelor Nation. Duh. I love The Bachelor. I love the Bachelor franchise. I watch every season of everything. Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, fucking everything. If you guys are in Bachelor Nation, you guys know Nick Viall. Nick Viall. I call him Nick Viall. Nick Viall, he is such a... You guys, this all relates to my party story. Don't worry, I didn't just get off track and talk about The Bachelor. Just stay with me. And so he has this podcast, and I fucking love his podcast. It's called The Viall Files. So maybe it is Viall, Nick Viall. Because it's called The Viall Files, so if his last name was Viall, it wouldn't be Viall Files. Viall Files? That doesn't really work, so I think it's Viall Files. The fact that I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, but I'm like, I love Nick Viall. Anyway, I listen to his podcast every fucking week. Even though I've seen all of his trial and error on the Bachelor franchise and all the times he's fucked up, he's really grown so much as a human, and he's been in a very long-term committed relationship with this beautiful fucking woman, and they're in the most beautiful relationship, and I love them together. Since he's grown so much as a human, his podcast is all about like helping other people with their dating issues, and so he has like people call in and like he gives dating advice, and he's so emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, and he's like helping all these young women out with like their dating issues or their like situation issues, and hearing his perspective from a man is so interesting to me because I love tapping into like how men actually think. And so him giving these girlies advice and like telling them what their crush or like their boyfriend or like their situationship, what they're actually it's very interesting and stimulating for me. So I love it. You guys should watch it. It's very good. I watch his shit every week. This all correlates, I promise you. So I was actually watching his podcast while I was doing my makeup that night, getting ready for Zayn's party. I was literally watching his shit. And so after Cameron approaches me and he tells me that he's 22 and then he wants to take me on a date, me and Crystal are like, let's go get a drink. So we're walking towards the bar. And guess who I see in the corner of my fucking eye? In my peripheral. I see a silhouette of a man that looks like Nick Viall, but I thought that I was just psyching myself out because I was literally just watching his podcast while doing my makeup. And so I looked over at him and I was like, oh my god, is that Nick Viall? And I turned to Christelle because she's in Bachelor Nation, and I was like, is that fucking Nick Viall at the bar? Why the fuck is Nick Viall at this random YouTuber party? There's no way in hell that's Nick Viall. And I didn't want to turn around again because he was getting a drink but like facing the crowd and he was talking to someone, so I was like, there's no fucking way. And Christelle was like, that's Nick Viall. I was like, there's no fucking way that's Nick Viall. How did I just accidentally manifest Nick Viall being at this party? This is the most random shit. Nick Viall? What the fuck are you doing there? No judgment. Okay, yeah, this man is 42 years old. He's 42 in Bachelor Nation. I was just like, this is the last person that I expected to be at this fucking function. And I'm not even kidding, I started having heart palpitations because I genuinely just could not believe, I couldn't believe it. This is just such a crazy coincidence. And I was truly just tickled at the fact that he was here. And I needed to tell him that. I just was just so tickled. And so I was like, I'm gonna say something. Whatever. I've had a few drinks. I'm feeling courageous. I'm like a cutie pie. Like, whatever. So I turn around, I look at Nick Viall, and I'm like, that's Nick Viall. The fact that I'm fangirling over someone in Bachelor Nation. So he's talking to this other chick at the bar, and it looks to me like they're friends. So I was like, okay, I'll just kind of like slither in and be like, hey, sorry to interrupt. So I like go up to them kind of, but as I was about to be like, hey, sorry to interrupt, her body language like turned more into him to like kind of cut me off, and I was like, oh, okay. It looked like they were having a really intense conversation, so I was like, maybe this is a bad time. So I kind of just like stepped to the side, like waiting to intersect. I felt a pause in the conversation, so I was like, okay, and I slithered in. I was like, hey, Nick. And I just started laughing. I just started fucking laughing because I could not believe he was right in front of me. I just started laughing and he was like, and it was super loud. Like there was music playing so loud. We were at a club and I just was manically laughing because I was also so nervous that he was right in front of my face and I didn't know what to say next. So I just started laughing and I was like, I'm sorry. I just like cannot believe that you're right in front of me. This is so fucking weird. I was just watching your podcast while I was getting ready and you were the last person that I expected to be here. And I was just fucking laughing so hard. I was like, you helped me like get through so much shit. Like you helped me like figure out so much about my guy situations and like you're the fucking man. And then I could tell that he was a little uncomfortable because number one, I don't think his girlfriend was around. So he was just kind of like, these two girls are like talking to me and he was just trying to order a drink. I did pick up on that social cue where he was just like kind of uncomfortable with my energy, which I totally get. I'm a lot, especially when I like admire you. But I kept it chill. I was like, I just want to tell you like I love your podcast. I was just listening to it. And then he like uncomfortably laughed. He was like, thank you. He was like, you should talk to this girl then because she loves my podcast too. Like you guys probably have a lot in common. And when he said that, that was such a social cue, I think, where he was just like, I'm uncomfortable. You guys should talk. I'm just trying to order a drink and I'm trying to get back to my girlfriend. Like that was the vibe. And when he said that, I was like, oh, cool. And I like looked at the girl. I was like, you watch him too? And she was like, yeah, I love his podcast. I was like, yes, bitch. I like dapped her up or some shit. And then once I dapped her up, I just looked at Nick and I was like, I'm gonna leave you alone. Love you, Nick. Such a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sarah. And he was like, nice to meet you, Sarah. I was like, God bless you. And then I went like this because I always do that when I'm like uncomfortable and I'm like meeting someone that I like really admire. I'm always like, eh. And he looked at my hand. He looked at my hand and he did not know what to do. But he looked down and he like laughed. It was like an endearing energy where he was just like, oh, this girl. And he was like, eh, and he did it back. And I was like, yes, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to do this with Nick Vial. And then once I got that, I like walked away and I was like, ah! Like I didn't almost cry, but I was like, wow, this man has no idea how much he's helped me. Jesus Christ. I can't believe he's here. That was crazy. I was like kind of anxious for a second because he wasn't rude. He was not rude. It was just like an energy where I could tell he was like a little bit overwhelmed. I pick up on social cues, okay? I'm not stupid. I'm not just gonna like sit there and linger and be like, can you help me with my guy issues? I'm not gonna do that with him. I thought that I did very well. Even Christelle was like, that was chill. And I was like, was that chill? She was like, that was chill. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So that was crazy. So then the night goes on. I see Cameron, the hot security guard, just like pop up in random places. And he kept looking over at me and like winking at me or just like giving me like a little look. And I'm like, ooh, but he was working. He's a security guard, so he was just like running around and shit. Throughout the night, he would just keep intentionally making his way over to me and check up on me being like, how are you feeling? How you doing? And I'm like, I'm good. He's like, okay, I gotta go. And I was like, okay. But he would just check up on me all night and it was really cute. And then, so the bar that we were at for Zane's party, I actually know the owners really well. I saw one of the owners and I like go up to the owner and I was like, yo, what's up, dude? And he was like, oh my God, hey. He was like, we're gonna go to the karaoke room. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. We'll go to the karaoke room, wherever that is. We're following the owner through this like random hallway in this like back alleyway. And then Cameron walks by and sees me following the owner and he gives me kind of like a weird look and I was like, we'll be right back. And he was like, okay. We go to the karaoke room and we're up there for like 15 minutes. It's kind of not really our vibe. Like there was just like a lot of random people up there and the owner was really lit and like we just didn't really know a lot of people. So we asked the other security guard that was up there to bring us back down to the main floor where the club is and where Cameron is. We go with the other security guard and this other security guard was really cute too, okay? He was really cute. And I do this thing, I don't know why I do this. I'm just such a flirt, okay? I'm such a fucking flirt. Ah! especially when I'm drinking. Such a flirt. But I do this thing where I like kiss guys' hands whenever they do something like sweet. I don't know, when I'm just like feeling flirty, I'll just like take a guy's hand and I'll just like, thank you. It's very effective. They're just like, ooh, and then they grab mine and they kiss mine. It's just like a cute little interaction, right? And so this security guard brings us back down to the main floor where the club is. And when he brings us back down, he was cute. So I like took his hand and I'm like, thank you. And I kissed his hand, not thinking anything of it. And then Cameron happened to see that shit as he was walking by, and I did not see Cameron. If I would have seen Cameron, I wouldn't have done that shit. It almost felt like I was cheating on Cameron, and that's exactly what the vibe was. Because when he walked by and saw that, he looked at me and he was like, wow. Because Cameron and that security guard are homies because they work together, so they know each other. And he sees me, the girl that he's like trying to pursue, kissing his homie's hand. And when he walked by and he was like, wow. It was so genuine too. It was kind of like I betrayed him in a way, even though we're not even fucking dating. Like, he's being dramatic. I was just like, Cameron, it's not what it looks like. I do that with everybody. Like, I literally do that with everybody. I'm just being flirty. What the fuck? Like, I'm not actually like, what? And the fact that he was seriously annoyed with that, I was like, this is toxic. This is crazy. Like, he literally was like, wow. And I was like, wait, Cameron. And then he just walked away. I was like, can we talk about this? Like, we're in a relationship. And he just kept walking. Like, he just completely ignored me. And he was like talking on his stupid headset. And I was like, Cameron. All of his security guard friends that were around me looked at me and they're like, damn. And I was like, what the fuck did I do? And they're like, yo, we're all just like super close. We're like brothers, and Cameron really had a crush on you. So you kissing the other homie's hand, that was a betrayal. I was like, you have to be absolutely shitting me, right? I get it, I guess. But the fact that he took it so seriously, I was like, can we just talk about it? What the fuck? But then he walked away, so I have beef with Cameron and I don't even know why. I'm like, we're not even dating. And I told his friends that, I'm like, we're not even fucking dating. I barely know his name. I just met him tonight. What the fuck? And they're like, yeah, I mean, he's a really good guy. He's very loyal. And when he likes someone, he falls hard. I'm like, he doesn't even know my favorite color. This is insane, but like, okay, I get it, I guess. Sorry, Cameron. So I just continue on with my night. I'm not really thinking anything of it. Oh my god. And then it becomes 2 in the morning, so the club was closing, right? So they were like kicking everybody out. But since I was with the owner again, the owner came back down from the karaoke room to like party down here. I was with the owner again, and then the owner was like, yo, Sarah, don't leave. We're gonna go back up to the karaoke room after hours when everybody's getting kicked out of the club. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll just like wait here, whatever. So as we're waiting there, fucking Cameron comes back and I'm like, oh my god. And he comes right up to me. I was like, why are you mad at me? And he was like, that was just my homie. Like, I don't know. I thought that we like had something. I was like, we do have something. Me kissing that guy's hand was just me saying, thank you for guiding us here. Like, it didn't mean anything to me. And we were literally bickering. It was crazy. It was like, but it was kind of hot. Because it was like kind of passionate. It was kind of fun. It was like a fun little argument because I could tell he was just like mad. And I was like, you're mad because you like me. It was like that. And then we made up because he was like, put your info in my phone because you haven't yet. And I was like, you didn't ask. And he was like, I tried to. And I was like, you were busy. Like, it was just like this weird, it was like this weird, like intense beef. Like, I thought he was gonna literally pin me against the wall and make out with me, but he was working. So I was just like, okay, whatever. So I put my contact info in his phone, gave it to him, and he was like, okay, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. And then the owner comes up to us and was like, he was fucked up. The owner was fucked up. He was like, yo, Cameron, can you lead me and my friends up to the karaoke room? Because like only Cameron and like the security guards had the access to go up there. So then Cameron was like, okay. Who's all coming? Who's all coming? Because he was also like kicking people out. So he was like, the people that are coming with the owner, get in a circle. And I was like in the circle and I was like, and it was so hot. Cameron was like guiding us to the elevator, and then we were all in the elevator and it was like kind of awkward and quiet. I was standing next to Cameron and I was like, Cameron, because he was like kind of annoyed with me. And then he looks at me, he was like, yeah. And I was like, are you gonna come into the karaoke room? And he was like, and then the elevator door opens and then he's leading us out into the karaoke room and everybody gets in the I'm the last one to go in because Cameron's holding the door open for everyone, so I made sure I was the last one. And so I was the last one and I was like, are we hanging out? Like, what are we doing? And then he was like, fuck. And I was like, and he was like, just give me a second. I'm just like, I have to kick everybody out of the club downstairs. Give me a second. I'm working. And I'm like, I get that. I was like, you are working. I was like, you're literally a security guard. I get it. He was like, I can't just like do karaoke right now. Like I'm on the clock. I was like, okay, cool. We're in the karaoke room. We're doing karaoke, whatever. 30 minutes goes by. The karaoke rooms get shut down, like even the after hours. So then the owner's like, okay, we all gotta go. So we were like, okay. Basically, long story short, me and Christelle leave the club and we're waiting for an Uber and we get into the Uber and then I get a text from Cameron. And the text from Cameron were just like, you know, those emoji hand hearts? He sent me 3 of them. Just the 3 emoji hand hearts. And I was like, hi. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm on my way to my house? Like, what? And then I was like, what are you doing? And then he was like, I'm coming to see you. I'm on your time. And I was like, and honestly, I was like feeling crazy, feeling spunky, feeling spontaneous. And this guy was so cute. And he was on my ass all night. And we had like a little passionate thing going. And it was just gonna be like a fun little like fling. I don't know. It just like made my heart kind of flutter. So I was like, this is fun. So I gave him my address. Me and Christelle are literally giggling so hard in the Uber. We're like, oh my fucking God. And I was pretty drunk at this point. And so we get to our house. Me and Christelle are like freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck do I wear? She was like, something comfy, something casual, but something hot. And I'm like, comfy, casual, hot. I'm like, what the and we were also drunk. We're like speed cleaning the kitchen because it was a mess. We're like speed cleaning the living room, mess. And then I finally come up with a comfy, casual, hot combination of clothes. It was like a cute little pajama tank top with like a zip up sweatshirt over it, but it was unzipped. So you could like see my cute little pajama top. And then I had pajama bottoms on. So I was like, this is like cute, casual, but you know what I'm saying. He texted me and he was like, I'm on my way. And I was like, cool. I was like trying to play it so chill. I was like, cool, see you soon. So then he gets here. The vibes are fucking high. They're hot, they're passionate, amazing. I told Christelle to hang out with us in the living room because I'm fucking awkward around men when I first meet them. So I need her kind of as a buffer because Christelle has a fantastic personality, and so just having her there is just perfect. Once she's there to kind of like settle my nerves, then I can like be alone with them, you know? It's like, it's annoying, but that's just how I work. So we were all hanging out in the living room just talking. I asked him what his sign was because I just do that, especially when I'm drunk. He said he was a Scorpio. And listen, I love Scorpio women, but Scorpio men are fucking terrifying. They come off so mysterious, so like calculated, and that's exactly how he comes off. Like, he's so mysterious, very dry, but when he does say shit, it is funny. It's very subtle. It's like dry humor, but he is funny. but he's very like you can feel the passion in his eyes, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, he's just scary. He scared the shit out of me because I'm just like such a warm, energetic, smiley, friendly person. I'm very wholesome. I'm very sweet, you know? That's just my nature. But with Cameron, his Scorpio was just so intense and so intentional, but it was really hot. It was hot, but he wasn't that smiley. He wasn't that like warm, but he was intriguing. It was almost, it's like the energy of like Edward Cullen. You know how Edward's just kind of like cold, but like romantic? But this guy wasn't as like stone faced. Like he had expression and he had funny shit to say and he was fun to be around, but his energy was just so intense and it scared the shit out of me. It really did. And I was like, oh my god, he probably thinks I'm so fucking weird because I have Billy Ray Cyrus, like I have a Billy Ray Cyrus poster in my living room, and I could just tell that his energy is just so like, he saw that and he was like, what? He just can't understand. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just that energy where they like laugh, but they're like, who are you? To like me. And I'm just like, Billy Ray, he's the best. Hello? Like, achy breaky heart. Even though he is problematic right now because of his new girlfriend, and listen, that's a whole nother topic we can get into for another day. But I had that poster up before he got into this new relationship with the new girl, so we might have to take it down because it is kind of problematic. But listen, whatever. I don't know, I also like don't know him that well, but he doesn't really have like a weird goofy vibe like I do. Like I'm a fucking goofball, and I hate saying that because that sounds so stupid. Like I'm a goofball. But I'm just such a fucking weird person, and my humor is really strange, and I could just tell that he would like look at that and like kind of be intrigued by it but not really understand it. I don't know. After like an hour we're just like chilling, then finally Christelle was like, I need to go to bed, I have to like get up early, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be alone with him. So she goes to bed and I'm like, Cameron, do you want to like come in my room? And he was like, yeah. So we go into my room, we start making out, doing things, okay? And then all of a sudden he just gets up and he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, what? Because he was so hot and I was like so into it. I was like, what? And he looked at me and was like, no, I want to like get to know you. Tell me why I was annoyed. Tell me why I was annoyed in this situation. I was like, you what? And he was like, I just kind of want to like talk to you. And I was like, okay. I'm like, because in my head, he was just gonna be this hot guy that I hooked up with that night because he told me he was 22 and because he also lived kind of far from me. So I was like, I kind of just like wanted to hook up with him, all right? And so the fact that he was like, no, like I want to get to know, like I like you, like you're different. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I was like, no, let's keep hooking up. Like, I'm so okay with this. He's like, no, let's just talk. I was like, oh, you just like want to talk? I was like, is that why you came over? And he was like, yeah, I just like wanted to get to know you. Y'all, I was truly flabbergasted by this because if I'm being completely frank, I did just want to have a one-night stand with Cameron, okay? I did. And the fact that he literally sat up and was like, I want to take you seriously. It was just such a fucking mind fuck. Obviously, I expect that from men. Like, I expect to have a man want to take me seriously, of course. But this was the one time where I just wanted to like let loose and just like have a one-night stand. This was literally the one time where I was just like, let's do it. And then he was the one that was like, no, let's talk. About what, bitch? We just talked. He like asked me a lot of questions about my life, about my family. And then oh my God. Because, okay, I did look so hot that night, okay? And I was wearing like a really cute outfit. He was like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, it's like so weird when people ask me that. And I was like, oh, I make videos. And he was like, are you a porn star? I was like, no, Cameron, I'm just hot. Like, no. What? He asked if I was a porn star. I was like, no. I could be, but I make videos online and I'm gonna be talking about you online. You just manifested that on accident. And then after we like talked for a while, it was a really great conversation because it was 6 in the morning. We talked for like 3 hours. I'm not even kidding. We talked for so long and he lived like an hour away. I was like, you can just stay the night. Like you can just sleep in my bed. He's like, no, I have to like get up early. He said why he had to get up early, but I forgot what he said. And I was like, are you sure? Like you can just like stay here. I don't want you to have to like drive all the way there. And he's like, no, no, no. I like have something in the morning, but it was such a pleasure to talk to you. And I was like, you too, Cameron. This is crazy. I thought you were gonna be like a fuckboy, like toxic, scary human, but you like genuinely try to get to know me. Interesting. So I was like, no, that was so fun. Blah, blah, blah. He left and I was like laughing so hard. I was like, wow, I really thought I was gonna have a one-night stand, but it ended up being really wholesome. But also not, because we were like getting freaky in between us talking, but it never like went that far. So I don't know. Interesting. I went to bed and then I woke up and he texted me good morning and he was like, it was so nice meeting you for real. And I was like, aw. And he was like, thank you for having me over. I just loved talking to you. And I was like, aw. So we were like texting on and off all day. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what the I was like, okay. And I didn't even know his last name. I didn't even have his Instagram. Didn't know anything about this person. So then after we were texting all day, I like kind of wanted to end the convo because I was just kind of overwhelmed by the energy, I think. And also, I don't know, his Scorpio energy was just like over text. I just also hate texting. I hate texting so much. I hate it. And so I just like hearted his message and then just left it there. And I was like, if we don't text anymore, that's so okay with me. I will see him the next time I'm at the club and we can hang out in person again. I can't do texting. I can't do it. So I just hearted his message and I was like, okay. And then the next day, he texts me again. And I'm like, oh my God, Cameron likes me. I was like, damn. He said, hey. And I was like, hi. And then he was like, how did you sleep? Just like cares about me. So I was like, oh my God. We were like texting all day, whatever. We just like stopped responding to each other. And then that was the last of that. So I haven't heard from him since like a few days ago. You know what? I don't even know how to feel. He was so cute, so intentional, intense. Energy was kind of scary, but like mysterious. He seems like a very passionate person. He really wanted to like pick my brain and get to know me on like a crazy deep level the first night. And so I don't know, like what are your guys' experiences with Scorpio men? I'm scared. But I don't really know if we're like that compatible. I really love weird, goofy men that can just like be weird with me. I don't really think that that's him though. But I feel like our chemistry is really intense and passionate on other levels. But when it comes to like day to day, I don't know if we're like that compatible. That's why I'm like, let's just hook up. Because the attraction is there. So I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Anyway, so that's my latest guy experience. I was like, I'm gonna pack for Oregon, and then it just turned into me venting about another guy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I'll see you guys next time.